Yo, what's good, my people? My name is Four Fingers, and welcome to Four Fingers Making Sense. This is our third episode called Understanding the Music Business. Yes, understanding the music business. This one, for me, it is a mad one because wow, I don't even really know where to begin. I was never really interested in the music business. I really didn't care about it. I tried to listen when, all the older ones wanted to give me, as they call it, game about it, talk to me about it, let me know certain things. I would listen out of politeness. But for me, I found that it wasn't fun. I'm not gonna lie, it just wasn't fun and I wasn't interested in it. All I wanted to do is to get into the studio and record some music. So this session, primarily, this episode, it's not basically giving you all the avenues in what you need to learn about the music business. I don't think this is what this video is for because I'm not that technical. I'm not that guy. I'm very, very dyslexic, and it's out of my range to be able to teach that. And I wouldn't be doing you guys a service if I attempted it. But what this video is going to talk about when it talks about the understanding the music business is give you guys the basic, man. Let you know how important it is just by doing little certain things. You could be getting the money that you're owed or be doing certain thing in a different way. So I give you an example. For me, the reason why I felt like I needed to start paying attention to the music business was because I was getting frustrated because I wasn't seeing the result of all the hard work I was putting in the beginning. I was like, what's going on? I didn't really quite understand what was really going on. Putting all this effort in, doing the same thing, the same way over the years, expecting different results. And I think, what's his name? Einstein called that insanity, right? But yeah, and I was just getting frustrated and falling in and out of love with music. And I understood very quickly by paying attention that this thing I've been running from years back, which is the business side of thing, I need to pay some attention to it, learn certain things about it, which can help me. So the very first thing I would say is if you're starting out, try to invest in a home recording studio. I think rather than you going into a studio, it is beneficial for you to go to studio. Definitely, it is certainly beneficial, but it's just expensive. Do you understand what I mean? So in terms of long term, you can get them now on the cheap. Do you know, you can get like a good home studio setup for less than £1,000 these days. Which is in my days really unheard of, really. But you can certainly do that now. But I will say though, if you don't know what you're doing in terms of recording and stuff, and you just want that studio experience, then it's important that you get that. So for me personally, I started out by recording with Catch 22 back in the days, which is Prash engineers, and he taught me a lot. I learned a lot because he was recording a lot of the artists back in the day. Shout out Diego, shout out Deadly Hunter, shout out Silk. Bare people from Reading that were on game at the time were recording with Prash. And Prash was he taught me so much. And then, but it was just, for me, it was expensive. Later on, I did find out there were some artists recording with Prash that weren't paying Prash, but here I was, prayed, you know what I mean? But I understand it's business in it, so I do get it. Anyway, so later on, I discovered by, hanging out, shout out Rare Sounds, my boy, Love. He had a home recording studio, and Smiley, and all them man there. And I was like, what? How do you lot do this? And basically, he just put me onto it. And I found out actually, which saved me a lot of money in the long run. But if you don't know what you're doing in terms of recording, then, so what I did, because I'm not a technical guy, I'm just not that guy. I just want to do my 16 bar and be done. That's the kind of art, you know what I mean? All this technicality now. Unfortunately, I have a lot of people around me that can. So Smiley, I think, was the one that came around, set it all up, did all the thing, all of that. So all I would do was record my vocals. I even need the BPM so I can record my vocals and send it straight to the producer so he can then just, yeah, you know what I mean, mix it up and then send it back, make it sound nice. But it does save a lot of money in the long run. And to be fair, me and Aaron, when we met online like that. Aaron reached out to me. He was a producer from Oxford, and we worked, I think, like 4 or 5 years together before we actually met face to face. Because he would send the beat, the BPM, I'll record it at home, send him the vocals, he'd mix it up, send it back to me, and then we just work that way. And yeah, it saves a lot of money in the long run. So definitely invest in a home recording studio. Have a basic understanding of the music business. Don't do what I did, which is just to completely switch off. And a lot of people might think I was being ignorant. I wasn't being ignorant. I'm being honest with you. Being dyslexic, sometimes certain ways that people explain things, I don't really understand it. And if I don't really understand it, I just switch off. And I find it boring. There was so many boring stuff to it, man. Do you know what I mean? You got to do the marketing. You got to do the, you know what I mean? Strategic planning. When I start hearing all this language stuff, man, I'm just tuned out. And I'm not even joking. But have a basic understanding of the music business. And what I mean by basic understanding is you are the business, right? As an artist, you are the business. So instead of you just saying you're trying to record songs and everything like that, a lot of these younger ones now starting to understand it now, that rather than seeing yourself as just as an artist, you see yourself as a brand, innit? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So brand in terms of all the coloring scheme that you're going to choose for your website, for your artwork, all of that. So have a scheme of that. So people recognize the color with you. You understand what I'm saying to you? So business in the side of things that in terms of when we put out music, where do we get back like our royalties from that? How can I get royalty, performance royalty, understanding that, and also royalties from getting airplays, understanding that basic knowledge as well. Do you know what I mean? And understanding performance, when you get perform, apart from just getting paid, you could get your royalty payment as well. That's just the basic stuff. Do you know what I mean? We haven't even gone to the big stuff yet, right? Now, I can't sit here and tell you that I understand the music business in and out, because I really don't. Believe me, I'm still learning, so much to learn. Do I really want to learn it? I'm going to be honest with you, no. And that sounds like, dude, why not? Just because I ain't interested in it. And I'm not doing this because of the money. If the money comes, great. I just love creating music. That's what I love creating to do. Do you know what I mean? And I just love doing that. And it might seem like an oxymoron trying to put all this work in and then you're not getting back what you do. I understand that now. I'm getting back what I'm doing, but I'm not really chasing it like that. I remember back in the day, I used to do mixtapes and that, and taking it to the market in Reading, giving it to man them, they will sell it. And they're probably surprised they didn't see me to come and chase the money, because I was just like, I can't be bothered. It sounds really, and I'm just being honest with you, I really can't be bothered. I had so much other things going on, and I was just like, yeah, I'll get the money. When I see them, I'll ask them for the money. And to me, money, I'm not, if you know me, when I'm not, money, to me, money is a tool. I don't chase money like that. Do you know what I mean? I see the bigger picture. Do you know what I mean? In terms of that, and if certain things didn't work out, and maybe that's why the energy of trying to make it to that next level didn't quite happen, because there were certain little things like that that I didn't really take that seriously, and maybe that's why. You know, register your independent record label. So it's important that you understand that you can create your own record label and you can put your music out as an independent artist. So I would advise a lot of young artists coming up now to say, I don't think you really need a label. That's my opinion. Not until you've already got something to offer anyway, when you get that big, if you see what I'm saying to you. So like all the man there, like Skepta, what's his name? Calls himself Stiff Chocolate. Stormzy, they all started out as independent artists before they actually got signed, because you got online, you got internet now. Now, a lot of the artists that I know that was in my kind of genre, in my time area, I actually sent a message to a few of them, and a lot of them were like, if we had the internet and the access to the internet like these lot do, it would be a different ball game. So just creating your fan base, and you know exactly what to do with your online marketing. And I will say this, right? You don't have to be doing stuff on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, or wherever it is. You just need to find one that works for you, and you know how to do it, and you just follow that in it. And that's my advice, because sometimes people try to do too much. You know what I mean? And that's all I can say on that. how to register for independent, how to register your own record label is very easy. Just Google it. You know what I mean? It's very, very easy and it's very straightforward. Shout out to my record label, Vision Records. You know what I mean? That started out when me and Aaron got together and we started taking things a bit more seriously. And then that's where you can start understanding a little bit more about registering your tracks. You can start understanding about the royalties and the ISRC numbers and stuff like that, you know, so that when your track gets played, you know, it gets recognized and the money gets billed back to you. Fun fact that I didn't know, but I found out recently, you know, when I was all these years ago, is that all the artists that are due to claim royalties, if you don't claim your royalties for your music, it goes into this massive big pot in the whatever they call this thing. Is this stratosphere, atmosphere somewhere? And if no one claims it, basically, if there's the art, you don't claim your artist, it then gets given to big name artists already. So it will get added to the grand total. They don't need it. We need it. All these small independent artists, we need it. So to save all of that happening, you need to make sure that you understand that registering as an independent record label, very easy to do. Just Google it, and then you can start, you know, registering about claiming your royalties when your music get played, ISRC numbers and things like that to do with PPL. Again, it's another thing which is, I think is you know, I started learning about much later on in my career. The other thing is to have a website. It's very important that you have a website. There's lots of very cheap self-made website at the moment that you can do. Shout out to my nephew Salim who helped me out, you know, creating my latest website. It's very easy to on wix.com, I think. There's a lot of self-made. It's quite cheap really to run it. But you do need a website, man. I don't really know what else to say about that. So people can go on there. People don't want to be going on Instagram doing this and doing that. If they go on your website and they go your Instagram icon or Facebook icon and all the other stuff, they can click on that to find out a bit more, which is helpful to them. It makes it easier for them. But they don't want to be going to your Instagram in a separate way and then having to go to your Facebook in a separate. It makes it difficult. They probably mostly really wouldn't. Very, very few people will go out of the way to do that. You know what I mean? So website, very important. Music online distribution. So, you know, how once your music is recorded and, you know, it's mixed. I will say this, must be mixed and it must be mastered. I'm sorry. It just has to sound, because a lot of these guys are listening to the music, they're listening to music and they're comparing it to other music they're hearing. And all this other music they're hearing is mastered. So the quality has to be on point. You understand what I'm saying to you? So must be mixed and mastered. Once it's mixed and mastered, then we can talk about online distribution. So you can get it on Spotify. There's all these companies out there. There's many of them. They put it on Spotify, on this and that, on different things. You know, for your iTunes, Spotify, Deezer, all of these other places, even like TikTok, whatever. They can get it all on there for you. And you can get 100% back of your money, of the royalties and stuff like that. Now, my understanding is on Spotify and iTunes like that, because of the streams, you don't get much money as an artist, but there are different websites that you can get a bit more, but a lot of people don't use it as much. Like Bandcamp, I know it's a different one as well. There's many other ones online, but just look at it diligently in terms of what you want into the online music distribution. Don't just follow what everybody else does. Do you know what I mean? Make sure it fits what you're trying to do. You know, for me, I just wanted what was the easy. I don't want any headache, any long story. Just this. Yes, I know you're not getting as much on Spotify, whatever. I understand, but my friend, just click the thing and let people hear the music, man. That's what I was interested in. Collecting music royalties, like performing rights organization. I mentioned PPL earlier. As an independent record label, you can register and you can get your ISRC number, I think. And then I'm with Centric Music as well, where I get my performance stuff. So when I perform, I can claim my royalties for performance as well. And I've been doing that for a while. And it does pay, like once a year at least it does. And it's actually quite good. I mean, it's little money, but I'm grateful for every little thing. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, and registering with them. But there are many other collecting music royalties out there that you can find and use as well. It just takes Googling, I guess. The other thing I will say, very important, is to invest in yourself. When I mean invest in yourself, like financially, you have to put your money where your mouth is. You know, this music thing is a love, it is love at the end of the day, but it is an expensive thing because all of this music distribution, artwork, designing, promotion to what's that, marketing, I guess, of your music, you know, all of these things can mount up, you know, and so you need to be able to spend money on yourself until you can find people that actually believe in you and willing to spend and put in money to support you. But you've got to do that, spending money yourself. And having a business card or some sort of way, it's like and when I say business card, some sort of way people can remember you. So I remember in the very beginning, I was one of the very few artists that would go to shows and I'd make sure I have like a business card or flyer of where you can go and check out my music. All the other people that I saw when it was all up and coming and that were just trying to tell you, oh, go on this website and check out my music, www. People are listening, right? But they're not really writing it down. So you lose an opportunity there. And that's one of the things I would say as an independent artist is I didn't make use of some of the opportunities I was presented with at the right time. Yes. So one of the things I will say that is business cards are a way to really, really use opportunities that you're presented with. Every single opportunities. Networking is a big key. So making sure that you got that airtight about you got business cards, you got flyers or where people can find your website, your music. Make it as simple, as easy as possible. Think of, if nobody knows who you are, they can look at this flyer or business card and it takes them straight to where your music, where all your music is, or page or anything like that. They even have to explain it. If you have to start explaining it to people, then that's not the one. You want it to be very, very easy, straightforward to read. Also, to have a merch. Why are you paying for Nike or Reebok and all this sort of thing and advertising them when you do like your music videos or when you're performing and stuff like that, when you can wear your own clothes? You can invest a little bit of money in your own little merch. It's very, very easy, and lots of places that where you can do the like Etsy or things like that you can go and just get little merch, your own t-shirt, one or two, you know what I mean? Or another one that you can sell, and the more you sell, the more you can make and stuff like that. It's quite easy. I think it's just promoting yourself, really. See yourself as a brand. Do you know what I mean? Wear your own clothes, your own hats, as much as of your own stuff as you can do as your own business. So anything that you go just reminds people of who that person is. Do you know what I mean? So live performances, yeah, man. I used to do a lot of live performances, lot in the beginning. I'm telling you, open mic sessions up and down the country. Shout out to Dave for driving us up and down, and all my other friends and that. I used to drag a lot of people, man, to come and do live performances. I just enjoyed it. I want people to see what we've been working on. But the other thing I did say though is I didn't make good use of the opportunities of live performances. Like I would sometimes, yes, I'd had business cards ready and flyers ready, but sometimes like, just little things, man. People give you the business cards, they say message me and stuff like that. I didn't really follow that through. We used to have a book called the Unsigned Guide at a time. Yeah, it's a big book like this, and I used to send emails of my tracks to all these labels and all this stuff like that. But I never really chased it up. I sent 1 or 2 emails and that was it. So if the label thing is what you want to go down, you have to be persistent by knocking on doors, sending emails, standing in front of people's faces to just hear you out. You got to be so hungry and be about it that it's got to be absolutely the whole thing that you do. That this is who you are. You got no other options. Live performances, again, it's important to build up your stage performances so that people can see you and remember you, like you leave a memorable. So one of the things I knew I could do well was talk really well on stage, like come across, build a rapport very quickly. So I made sure in my performances, I made spaces for that so I could talk to the crowd. So do you understand what I mean? Because that was my thing, really. Do you know what I mean? So whatever your thing is, and how do you know what your thing is? It's by doing a lot of performances, making a lot of mistakes, finding things out, experimenting, not be scared to experiment certain things. Do you know what I mean? Try it, and then you find certain things, phrases that works with people. Like in most places when you go to nightclubs and back in the day, and still now, really, they go the oli oli oli, oi oi oi. There's little sayings, that people say. You know what I mean? It's just lots of different things that you can put into your performances to get the crowd involved, how to perform certain songs. Like I remember going to live performances and I have my set list in my head. And when I get there, looking at the room, reading the room, I change it. Say, let this track go first. No, put that one last and do that. And you only know those things because of having done so many experiences, good, bad. Personally, I only learned so much from when things didn't go well. When things went well, it went well, innit? That was it, That's it, let's keep it moving. When things didn't go well, yeah, I learned so much, so much about it. Online presence. Now, as we said, you guys have an online space, like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. It's important to make sure that you have content to share, even if it's every single day or every other day. So even if you're not doing your own songs, releasing them, because it's a lot of work to be releasing your own song every single day, but you could do like covers, just making sure that your presence is there, people see you, because out of sight, out of mind, really, so that by the time your record is coming out, because people are ready for it. One thing I do now is like 3-4 weeks leading up to the release of my single, you start seeing me being quite present online, sharing music, old music, whatever, so people will be like, oh, this guy's posting a lot. And then while the engagement is there, just boom, hit them with a new stuff. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I do. Everyone has different, I've heard a different example. People say, when's the best day to release your music? Some people say the Thursdays is probably the best day, and the timings for Instagram and TikTok is different. When's the best time? So it's just all about experimenting. But all I know is that you need a strong online presence. I would say have a plan. It's important to have a plan. A lot at the beginning of my career was a lot of winging. There wasn't no plan. There was no strategy. All I know is I wanted to get into the studio, record it, and get the music out there. But it's important to have a plan, man. Sit down. You know what I mean? Do you want to record an album? Do you want to record a mixtape? Do you want to record singles? I think in this genre, whatever, in this time that we're in, 2024, yes, English is not my first language. I think singles is the best way to go forward, man. Just singles after singles after singles. And then when you have enough, I guess, of a following, then you can start talking about albums. But yeah, singles, man. But yeah, have a plan, man. Plan of how it's going to get recorded, how it's going to get mastered, marketing. I used to spend 80% of my time just talking about writing the songs, recording the songs, and that was it, and getting mastered, mixed and mastered, yeah? And then 20% was about marketing. And what I would probably do is to make sure to be at least 60-40. And when I say 60, I'm saying 60% for marketing. Because marketing is such a big deal. Because that's what makes a lot of artists go so frustrated and actually quit. Because they're not getting a lot of traction with the music. And it's not saying the music is not good. It's all about, a lot of people that make it, I wouldn't say are the most talented people I know. They're probably the people that either have a plan, a strong plan, got a strong team behind them, or they just don't know how to give up. They're just constantly in your face with this, that you just have to pay attention. Do you know what I mean? So have a plan, man. Helps a lot. And finally, I would say have a mentor. It's important to have a mentor, man. It's important to have somebody that holds you accountable to what you're doing. So if you know that this music thing is really what you want to do, look at somebody that you be like, you know what, this person is doing it the way I want to do, reach out to them and, and just say, look, I'm a young artist, coming out. I see what you've been doing and blah, blah, blah. This is what I want to do, and they hold you accountable. They will give you a day so you don't have to make the same mistakes they made. And I think, for me, one of the mistakes I made is that I felt like I knew too much, but I just didn't want to listen, man. I didn't want to listen to what anybody wanted to say because I learned from my own mistakes, really. And as I've gotten older and wiser, I understand that actually, you're important to learn from other people's mistake and try to learn something rather than just saying, I'm just going to do it my way and then see what happens and then getting frustrated at the end of it. So it's much better for you to listen, to learn, and having that accountability helps. So yeah, man, this is all I have for you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please click on the subscribe button and on the notification button as well. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've learned something. I hope Four Fingers made sense, not just talking a lot of rubbish, So thank you very much, and then we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.